This is a place.
This is the place.
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to this week's episode of This is a Place podcast. My name is Nate.
My name is Brandon.
And happy Don't Step on a Bee Day. But every other day is fine, I guess.
I was going to say every day should be Don't Step on a Bee Day.
Yeah, you got to keep those bees because they help keep the plants going, right?
I don't know what a bee is.
Is there one in your bonnet?
What's the difference between a bee and... Because you can kill... I always get confused with bees, hornets. Like, how do you
Are you
tell?
for real?
Is it just like
How do
a
you tell?
bumblebee? Like the big fat bumblebees? Those are the bees? And everything else is a
Yes.
hornet that you can kill?
You can't tell the difference between a bee and a hornet or a wasp.
I feel like
Bees
an
are
idiot
cuter.
for
I
asking.
feel like bees are cuter and they're less aggressive.
Okay. I mean, that's what I think, but yeah, that was my assumption. I just didn't know for sure.
Bees make honey.
I'm like
Wasp
31 years
doesn't.
old. I should
Yeah.
know this by now.
And it's like a big thing in the Beehive State where we live.
It's a good thing we have a podcast about the beehive state, and I know what bees are now.
It was most relevant to our state. That's why I chose that one. And I thought it was interesting that today's the day you don't step on a bee.
July
But
10th. Do
guessing,
not step on a bee.
yeah. And I think even it's illegal if you like find like a beehive in your house or something, you can't kill them. You're supposed to remove them carefully. So have somebody who knows how to do it.
My parents had one in their tree to the point it was
Uh,
like loud. Like they'd go outside and it was a loud hive. And they had someone in their ward that was a beekeeper, and he came and
Oh,
took
really?
the bees.
Nice. So
Normally,
your parents,
you wouldn't pay someone to do it. They would pay you to get the bees, I think, because it's so valuable to have bees.
oh yeah, people who make honey, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too that you can tell where the honey comes from, like what part of the land they're doing, because the people taste different depending on where they're getting
Like
their
if they're doing
product
a
from.
blueberry field, it's going to taste like blueberries.
Maybe. Just funny. I think it's like National Pick a Blueberry Day as well. But
Oh,
blueberries, was that what it was? Something like that. Pick blueberries days.
I'm curious if my bee blindness is a symptom of just my generation. If only I had someone here to ask if they share a similar lack of knowledge towards bees. Matt, how do you feel? Do you know what a bee is? The difference between a bee and a wasp or hornet?
I think I can more easily identify a wasp or a hornet.
Okay. All right.
And I think any, like what I call honeybees, yeah, flying around flowers,
I know what a honeybee is. I didn't know if there were
that's
other
what I
kinds of
assume
bees.
what a bee is.
Yeah, bees, like you said, Nate, bees are cute. Hornets,
They're smaller. They're
just
usually
jerks.
smaller, cuter. They're not aggressive. Bees usually don't attack unless if they feel threatened. Or I kind of feel like a wasp. They're just jerks. They're the
Is
big
there
bullies.
a difference between being stung by a bee and stung by a wasp? Like, I know some people say they're
Yes.
allergic to bees. If you get stung by a bee, can you get...
Because the bees have like, I don't know. I believe the bee though, like if it stings you, it leaves the stinger in you and the bee later dies.
Right.
Or a wasp, I think, can bite you and or sting you.
Dude, they're the worst.
So they're just double whammies.
Why do we even have those?
I don't know. But
Don't step on
before,
either one today.
right, just stay away. But you can kill the wasp. I think that's just open
Yeah, don't
season.
step on them. Like smash them or catch them.
Yeah, those ones I spray with wasp spray.
I saw a video that if you
they'll-
put gas in a cup and you put that up to
Oh,
the hive, that they'll just die.
a wasp's nest.
I think if you put anything with gas like that, probably would die, but especially
Eventually,
wasps.
or get high, one of the two, and maybe you think
Mm.
they're dying.
Either way, you can get rid of them that way. So
But I was debating choosing another national day just to honor one of our, I don't know how many listeners we're up to, but one of our listeners can't listen till later on this summer. I think he'll come back.
yeah,
He's serving a mission, but
saw
it's a
that.
national
Caleb.
Caleb Day. So, but maybe when he gets
Maybe
back,
he's breaking the
he'll
rules and he is listening.
resume. Maybe he'll resume his listening duties, and our numbers will go up, and be back to normal. But so
Well,
happy National Caleb Day
happy National
as
Caleb
well.
Day. And we know at
Don't
least
step on a bee, Caleb.
don't step on a bee. We have at least one faithful listener, and that's Matt. As you know, I've already introduced him. It's we always introduce him one way or another. But thanks for being here, Matt.
And don't we also call you quality control?
He writes our
Nate?
descriptions.
Nate, I think I do more than you
checker.
even know.
Yeah, did you know he writes our descriptions for our
Oh.
episodes?
Writes the descriptions.
Did you not wonder
Yeah.
where that other direct deposit was going every month?
Oh yeah.
It was to Matt.
I thought it was Chat GPT that was writing them.
Well,
No
maybe
way.
maybe Chat GPT can listen to our episodes now. I don't know how advanced it is, but for the meantime, Matt is our Chat GPT. It's Matt PT.
Oh, that was great, Brandon.
So
Yeah.
he does our descriptions. So he's, we fired him as the intern, rehired him as a independent contractor
Or
to
social media expert.
yeah. Well, I still do the social media or the lack thereof, but he does
Oh.
the descriptions. He'll go through and listen, writes our descriptions for episodes. So he's still around, and he's our on ice. What do you call it?
On ice reporter.
Our Matt on ice reporter, like Disney
Yeah.
on Ice. Get it?
Oh yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Anyway,
That was great.
so he is here because we're talking about something that means something to him, and something we've wanted to talk about for a long time. We've talked about within episodes before. It is now time, the moment you have all been waiting for. It has been long coming. We're finally here to discuss Primordial, the brand newish ride at
The newest attraction.
the newest attraction at Lagoon.
Wait, what we should do now is just end the episode and pick it back up in October.
Why should we do that?
Oh,
Because that's what Primordial did. This season, Primordial.
Get your
It's like,
season passes now.
Get your season passes and time to go on the ride at the end of the season.
And it's like, oh, we ran out of time. If you have a season pass, just come and you can ride it during the day.
Just show up. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I mean we're already getting into it. It was not the best rollout last year.
It wasn't the opening they hoped for.
Was not the opening that they made it out to be. Because like you said, how many times did they push it back? So all right, let's go from the beginning. Primordial was first announced. Work began, even just background work, after they finished Cannibal. So development began after Cannibal opened in July of 2015 for their ongoing partnership with ART, which Matt knows who that is because he used to have a podcast about stuff like this. ART Engineering, they started working on building this ride. Primordial was first trademarked to the United States Patent Office and United States Patent and Trademark Office in August 2017. So that was a long time from 2015. We'll even give them some grace, say 2017, when patents were filed, all the way till September 15th of 2023, when Primordial finally opened. And we have now all been on the ride, and we are here to give you a spoiler infused review. Are we doing spoilers? Yeah. I mean, if people haven't gone on it yet,
you can't spoil it yet. It's too early.
Like we can't spoil it yet.
What are we going to talk about?
We'll talk about it in October.
We
Everyone
will
has a
have a follow-up
chance.
episode September of 2023 on the anniversary of it opening. It's not a bad idea. I guess we could do that. We will be here September 18th to tell you the spoilers of Primordial. We agreeing to that?
To be fair, it was spoiled years ago,
True.
which we didn't know. But there's this famous to me, Fox 13 interview where there's this roller coaster enthusiast, and he explains exactly what the ride is. I can't believe they aired it, and the Lagoon person is like, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be an interactive shooter ride, and she's like, I don't know. And he's like, there's gonna be roller coaster elements, there's gonna be a drop, and she's like, sounds interesting, and he described
it.
it perfectly. Yeah,
Because
he
there's
knew.
a pretty much a similar ride already, right?
Yeah,
In Canada's Wonderland in Ontario,
Ontario.
Canada, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah,
So wasn't a big surprise if you knew about that, I guess. So, all right. What are our thoughts on the ride? Nate, you were the first one to ride it because you were there in October for Frightmares. What'd you think?
He's all right. I think it's the most non-lagoon ride they have, where it
Okay.
feels more like a bigger theme park or amusement park, like Universal or Disneyland. It was a long. We went during Frightmares, and we thought the line looked fairly short because it was a lot shorter than it was the whole night we were there. We're like, oh, the line looks short, but it ended up being still a super long wait because you go around a corner, go around another corner, go around another corner before you're actually on the ride. So it takes quite some time to get on the ride, and I wonder if that will eventually slow down. But overall, I thought I liked it. I liked the ride a lot, but it's not a ride that you're willing to jump off of and go wait another hour or so in line to do it again.
How long are you willing to wait for this ride? Now having been on it.
I think it's something that if the line looks, I mean, I've seen season passes, right? So it's not hard for us to just say, ah, the line's too long, we'll hit it up next time.
Mm-hmm.
But if the line looks like it's going to be like 20 minutes or less, I think I would hop in. I do the same thing with Cannonball. When the Cannonball starts going all the way back to the
Samurai.
no, even like yeah, Samurai area, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna wait. So I think it'll be the same thing with this one. But I liked it. I really liked the ride. I sat there, and my son talking about what Matt was saying that it has a shooter thing. My son was arguing with me that it doesn't have it. So it was very, and we were in line for like 45 minutes before he actually saw one of the carts and goes, oh, I
You're
guess you're
right.
right, Dad. It was funny. That was fun too. I mean, this is just a tangent, but you're waiting in line forever, and my Bronco's on the spectrum, right? And so he has to conform that when the line moves, that you move up, right? And you fill in the gaps. But
I
there
agree
was a
with him, by
dad
the
with
way.
true. Um, he does it all the time. And like, it's not going to really change how quickly you get on the ride. The only thing it would maybe factor is that somebody might butt in line. But when you're kind of sandwiched in there,
They monitor this
people
line
aren't going
too.
to,
I haven't
they
seen
do
monitoring like they do on this ride on any other ride.
make sure that people aren't jumping the fence or
They
whatever, or hopping in
had
line.
when I was in line, probably 7 different people walking the line to make sure people weren't jumping in.
Oh, but anywho, my whole point of that story is the person in front of me was a guy about my age, and his son was there too. And then his son is also on the spectrum, but his son's the opposite where he needs his space. So
Mm,
that's why they were spacing it out so the kid didn't. So I'm like,
get
oh,
too close.
so Bronco kept like getting, please move forward, or whatever. And then the guy goes, sorry, my son's autistic. And I'm like, yeah, so's my kid. So we'll see who wins this battle. because somebody's not going to be happy for the next hour. But
Right.
it was easy to tell Bronco, like, just, it's okay. We can leave the gap. And we became friends with the people in front of us. But you could tell Bronco was going a little bonkers when there was a huge gap in the line and they weren't moving forward.
Well, Matt, you were the next one to ride this ride. You went earlier this season, I guess. Did you go with a homeschool group or what? You went with some kind of group, didn't you?
Yeah, it was My Tech High and then also Mesa clubs, and a bunch of other high school clubs
Okay.
that were able to go. So it was full of junior high school kids when we went, but it didn't open to the public until 5.
Nice.
So we thought this would be a great time to go on.
You were wrong.
And yeah, we got to the front and we're like, how long is this going to take? And the guy's like, 1:45. And I don't know what we were thinking. My youngest at the time was 4. And we were like, okay. And we just got in line. I don't know why we didn't consider not doing it. And surprisingly, they did great. All 3 of my kids did great for that hour and 45 minutes. And that guy was spot on. It was an hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
And it was hot. The sun just baking right on us. Yeah, they have the bathrooms right next there so you can get out of line. So there's all the people monitoring you getting out of line to go to the bathroom. But yeah, we went, and there's a certain part in the queue where there is a kitty cat. And I sent a picture to Brandon. And he was like,
Is that what it is?
spoilers!
Everybody's
What is
seen
it?
the kitty cat. Everyone's seen
It's a
it.
wildcat.
Okay.
It looks like a wildcat, the way its face is shaped.
I thought it was a wizard when I saw it on social media. I was trying to avoid the spoilers as much as I could, but there was
Well,
no
considering it's an
no escaping
animal
it.
that's talking, it's probably some kind of wizard.
True.
So, yeah, we waited. It was great. It went faster than I expected, is what I will say. The ride.
Yes,
And
it's. Would you say faster or shorter?
it's faster than I expected
Okay.
when you're inside. So, like classic indoor roller coasters like Space Mountain, everybody thinks of, you can't see the track. And so you feel how fast you're moving, but you don't really recognize it. Whereas this one, you can see where you are in the building, and it feels like you're moving much faster than you should be.
And you have
So,
shade, so it definitely helps.
And there's some, really cool parts where you can't tell where you're going. Like the cart turns, so it's facing backwards. There's really awesome theming inside of the coaster. There are a few statues in there, and they actually switch those statues out. So I assume it's like a rotating wall, because there's one where you're like,
Inside the ride?
mm-hmm.
Statues?
There's like towards the very end. They're animatronics, but they're not moving, so they're statues.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
towards the end, there's like an orc, or what are they?
An org, like from Dragon Tales?
Yeah. What are the creatures?
Are you thinking
There's
like a troll?
There's a troll, but there's another one. In Lord of the Rings, they're orcs.
There are
ORC?
in Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few different ones. I think there's actually I've only seen 2, and they'll switch them out. So I'm guessing it's on a rotating wall.
That's kind
And
of
it'll
cool.
just flip. So depending on what theming it is for that day,
it's
what
day.
video you're seeing, I don't know. I don't know how often they change it, but there are different scenes.
I don't think it's by day. I think they switch it between rides, between carts, because I'll tell you why later.
Interesting.
So I went on the ride. Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Okay. So yeah, there is that cool stuff. Honestly, at parts I was nervous, like in an exciting way, because I didn't know what was coming next, and it was really fun. All my kids liked it. My kids are now they're 9, 5, and 9, 7, and 5. So
You make it sound like you went on this years ago.
well, it's hard because
it was like a month ago.
My kid was 4 years old and he turned 5.
Well, it's hard
3 months.
because my Macy and Spencer's birthdays are in June, and Colton's is next week, and so
that gap from 4 to 5, it makes a difference.
Yeah, let me
Nate.
preface, my kids were 14, 16. And
you know
11.
what? They listen to this show, and they want me to
Okay.
get their age right.
Okay.
So sue me.
Sorry.
Sue me.
Or we're going back to suing each other again. Oh man.
No, let's not go down that road again.
Remember last time?
No,
That took a
please.
while. Jeez.
So it was fun. I would say the ending is a surprise, which I knew about, and I was confused by how it happened. It was not what I imagined it was going to be at all.
Yeah, my wife's coworker ruined it for my wife. So my wife had to ruin it for me. So I knew what was coming.
My wife ruined it
So
in the
I
line.
kept my daughter at the time was 12 when we went on it. Just not fill out the Mets base. Anyways. So I just sat there and watched my daughter because I knew that she would be surprised. And she was. And then I think even till today, she still says, "Oh my gosh, that ride scared the crap out of me." Like for the next hour or two, she was just like giggling, laughing, like, "Oh, that got me so good. It got me so good." Do we really want to hear what Brandon has to say about it?
No.
Are we good?
Yeah, he's got to brag. He's got something to brag about.
Should we wrap this up and send it to the internet?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
See you in September.
Well, I wanted to ask, how long would you wait for the ride? Matt, if you went to the park right now, how long would you realistically wait?
That's tough because we don't have season passes. So if it's once a year, I'm willing to wait an hour for it.
Yeah.
Maybe even 70 minutes. But if we had season passes, 35 minutes is probably the max I would wait.
Yeah.
I'll say 40. But if I saw the number 45, if I see number 45, I'm like, no, that's too long. But for whatever reason, 5 minutes less, 40 is just fine.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point. Like if you're going there once this year, then yeah, you probably have to. And that's where we were with like Frightmares. I think we went like 3 times, and each time we're like too long. Then finally the last night we're like, we have to, no matter what it takes, we got to get on this because I had to go on it for podcast purposes.
Right.
Everything we were willing to wait, even though we weren't sure how long the wait was going to be. But you're right. If you just go and pay the $99.95 plus tax.
It's too much.
Unless you go like on Tuesdays after 2:00, it's buy one, get one free. But if you're just going like once, yeah, I think you have to get in line and wait it out. Some guy just posted on Facebook that he flew out. He's like a roller coaster enthusiast.
Mm.
And he just flew out a week or so ago and rode. Well, he was talking about Cannibal, the biggest one. That's when he was going out, I think, to ride. But he talked about Primordial and how he liked it. But he actually said Cannibal he might put on his top 10 or 15 list. And he travels the world testing out roller coasters.
That's pretty cool.
I still like Cannibal better. Let me just get it out there. I still think Cannibal is the superior ride.
Sure. So yeah, if we're going to go to the park for 1 hour and you have to ride one ride, which ride do you go hit?
Yeah, Cannibal for sure.
Right?
Cannibal. Yeah,
I would wait longer. I would wait longer for Cannibal than I would for this ride. Even though it's newer and different, but I love that ride.
Except for the part that nobody likes, the slow twist.
I still like it.
You like it?
Yeah. Gives me the little scaries. Makes me question changing my life and things like that, Like, am I living correctly?
That's true. That's a good point.
All right. Well, Brandon, did you go with your family?
I went with my family.
Okay. How old were your kids when you went?
So my daughter was 5.
I was giving context for our listeners so they know that a 4-year-old can ride this ride. Okay, and it just so happens that this 4-year-old was turning 5 in 2 months. Okay,
it's a big jump. Matt, I'm just curious. Why don't you list your kids' ages in months anymore, or you just don't do it for us? Like, their months, right?
Yeah.
How many months
for you?
Okay.
Well, Colton will be turning 60 months this year, so next week he'll be 60 months.
You failed to say how old you were, Matt, when you went on the ride.
I was 31 at the time.
I was 31 too.
I was not 31.
Yeah, but you're old, Nate.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
All right. Listen up, guys. We went first thing first. We went to the park. We went into, maybe we devote a whole episode to this because it's pretty cool. We went in the north entrance. Anybody been in
Oh,
the north
yeah.
entrance before?
How was that?
Amazing, because when we got there, the south entrance was like you'd have had to wait in the street to even get in. We go to the north entrance, pulled right through.
How do you get to the north entrance?
You just keep driving. You just keep driving, and there's
Well,
a
if I'm
sign.
coming, sometimes I come from the north. Like I kind of, that's where I usually
Okay,
get off of
we'll do a whole
Legacy.
episode on it. Okay, we'll do a whole episode. On
Okay,
it.
I just need to know because I might be going
Go
today.
past the hotel. Just keep
Okay.
driving, and then you have to go further down. Like you go past the hotels, just keep driving, and there's signs that will show you. And there's a big arch that says Lagoon on it. So we go in, go straight to Primordial, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this line is so long." It when we got in, it stretched all the way to the back of or the middle part of the rocket, right? And my problem was, okay, I don't know what's going on with Samurai. It's completely taken down. So there's two rides at Lagoon. At least when I went, they were taken down. That and the swings. And then when we were in line, the rocket was not running. So I guess there was just like two big rides in that area, which it just means more people in line, right? Less rides for people to do, less big rides. And I was texting Matt about this. I was like, I hate this place. This sucks so bad. I came around to it after they opened up Rocket and our line started moving. But at first, when we were watching it, there was nobody in the carts on the ride. So that they were just testing it. So I'm like, okay, no wonder it's taking so long. Once they did, the line started moving. And I think we were in line for probably an hour. It wasn't that bad. Oh yes, Matt, you have a question?
Yeah, did you check the app to see how long the line was?
That's funny. I wish. I won't bore you with all that, but we did get through. Neither of you noticed or mentioned there's a freaking waterfall in this ride.
There is?
There is. There's a
Oh, on the
waterfall
outside?
on the outside. So
Yeah,
Lagoon,
and all the faces.
Lagoon, yeah, the faces. That's what I want to talk about. All the faces in the rock. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Lagoon does faces and rocks. You know, I think another podcast should do the fake rocks of Lagoon. Just saying.
Dude, I'm down for it.
But yeah, waterfall super awesome. This ride gets 4 stars just on that alone. So thanks, Lagoon. But my critique of the cat, nobody's freaking listening. You can't even hear the stupid story.
Yeah.
I want to hear the story about, Dragnar and Astrider. I want to hear about it. But
Put subtitles up there.
put some subtitles. Yeah. I wish I could have heard the spiel, but it's kind of cool. They show the graphics as it's telling the story and what you're going to be doing to save whatever you're doing, because we're not spoiling it. Anyway,
You're going to Mordor.
my daughter, who was 4 at the time, my son was 2 at the time. And my son
How
was
old are they now?
4 and 2.
Okay.
Wait, how many months? So,
My son is too short to ride this ride, but my daughter is barely tall enough to ride the ride. And that, my friends, was my mistake. So my son, I think, I don't know, he was fine. There's not a lot of big rides he can do yet. We still found plenty of rides for him to do, but I did feel bad that we waited in this whole long line. At the very beginning, he couldn't even ride it. So they do a rider swap type thing, and it's not flawless like at Disney, because we got out there. I decided to go first alone, and I was just going to try and go on with the people in front of me, but the teens running the show didn't realize that. So I ended up going in a cart completely alone. I was the only one on the whole cart, which is probably why this line ends up being a little long, because things like that happen.
right.
And is also why, my friends, I, at that point of the day, was the best, had the highest score of the day, because no one else was shooting with me. I got all the targets to myself.
Oh, good point.
So I do have a picture. I think I shared it with some of you, maybe both of you,
Yes.
but I am pretty proud about that.
The
But
the picture with your shirt off?
yeah, that one. But overall, so my daughter really hated the ride. It set a very dire tone for the whole day at Lagoon because she was just scared and kept remembering how scary that ride is to her. And I thought it was fun. As I said, I still would prefer other rides over it, but I'm probably in the same boat. I'd probably go half hour to 40 minutes would probably be my max. I was a little more pleasantly surprised than let down, I will say, but it left me wanting a little bit more. Well, I guess all in all, we'd recommend the ride, right? We're not going to spoil it. We're going to give you guys at least a full year from opening to ride it before we spoil. But all in all, we'd give this out of 2 thumbs up or 6 thumbs up. I'll give it
Yeah.
one. I'll give it one thumb
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
3 out of 6.
50%.
I think it's fun. It's an entertaining ride, and it's different from what Lagoon has to offer.
Yeah, a little
Maybe that's
more
the direction they're
Disney
going.
like.
Yeah, more Disney, more Universal like.
And it won an
Really just be
award, I
interesting to
think,
see.
the best ride of last year. Because
The
it
best
was
ride to open in October of 2023.
There you go.
I'm teasing. It was September 2023.
Like I would have been mad because I was a season pass holder, and they did what I think Matt kind of mentioned, where if you're a season pass holder, they let you schedule a time to come to the park when it's not open to ride the ride. So you think about it, your wait time's more than an hour because you got to drive up there to get in line to wait. I don't know if I would have done that, if I would have been satisfied. I think I would have been a little bit more upset spending 3 hours of my day to one ride.
Yeah, agreed. But I'm sure they'll work out some of the kinks, the make it faster, the wait time, or yeah, make it go quicker. But I don't know. I think it's a good direction. I don't want to be completely down on it because I hope Lagoon continues to do things like this. And I mean, we can give them some grace because they did encounter COVID during it all, which took a toll on the production and getting it built up. But um, I'm just happy they're willing to invest and do something different from time to time and not just have the same rides every year. So keep innovating, keep building these things, and we'll keep coming.
And develop an app.
And develop an app. I think that'd be
I mean,
great.
with technology nowadays, it wouldn't be that. I mean, it isn't what Disneyland does is they basically hand somebody a tag at the when they're getting on the ride, and then
It's a
they
whole
give
other
it to the
discussion.
person. But I'm like, it seems like you could make it a lot more simpler than that
Yeah.
and make it so then, especially if you're another discussion we should have is only having Lagoon as our really only park to go to. It gives them a monopoly where they can charge $100 a day, where other states have multiple parks and they're a little bit cheaper. Like
Yeah.
they're basically Disneyland right now for us. So
They're all we got.
we're all we
So
got. So
that's why, gentlemen, we need to make our millions and build our theme park.
mhm.
Somewhere downtown. We're not going to say where, but there's property nobody's thinking about.
It'll be coming as long as our investments take off like we expect them to.
How long has it been since that one
It's been a minute, and I still don't see any amusement park.
or announcements?
Think
More
Right?
we ever will.
I think it was more than 2 years ago for sure, because I was still at Slick when that episode came out.
But we invite you all to tune in back in September. In September, when we celebrate the 1 year anniversary of this ride, and we will give you a spoiler-induced episode. All the spoilers about the ride. I might even go back and cut out some of the spoilers we've already given. But join us, and yeah, we'll give you our the full ride through POV experience. Sound good? Nate's super
Sounds
jazzed
good.
about it.
Yes.
Matt, thanks for being here. Thanks for the work you do behind the scenes. I know people appreciate it. I know I do.
Yeah. I don't think many people read descriptions, but it's comforting for you guys to know if somebody reads it and is like, this description sucks. You guys didn't write it. It was me. So
We have you to blame.
On the other hand, if they say it's an amazing description, we can't take credit for it.
We can because we say we delegated that to him.
That's true. This
We
is
made
our
that
podcast.
decision. Yeah, it's great.
I think I've done some good descriptions.
I
The
think so
drive-in?
too.
The drive-in movie was one.
We'll keep up the good work, Matt. And we'll definitely, if not before then, have you back in September to help us finish this right out.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Tell your kids we say hi.
Okay, and in September, so September there'll be 9, 7, and
How
5
old?
still.
How will they be when they listen to this episode?
They'll still be 9, 5. Oh my gosh, 9, 7, and Colton's actually 4. He's turning 5 next week. So,
He'll be 5 when this comes out.
no.
Oh.
Oh, unless
my
I don't know.
gosh.
I don't know what the schedule is, but if we record next September, I might be 32. So I'm just throwing that out there.
It will be the 18th.
Ooh.
We might record when I'm 31. It might come out when I'm 32.
Oh my gosh. Think of
That's
how
a
much is
rare
going to
thing.
change between that time.
When Matt listens to it, he's like, man, I was so young and immature when I recorded this.
He'll be so grown up by September. Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a ride we just talked about.
Bye now.